Welcome to the Talk BGKY podcast, the official podcast for the City of Bowling Green. We're excited to bring you another episode from our Parks and Recreation Department. I'm Cameron Levis, the Recreation Division Manager for Bowling Green Parks and Rec. I'm joined by some special guests today from our Athletics and Sports Department. So we're going to talk all about youth sports, adult sports, all the fun things that you can do in the park to pursue that competitive edge or find that sport that you've always wanted to be good at or play in. So just very excited to be joined by our guests today. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Starting over here across the table.
I'm Pete Samios, the Sports and Wellness Manager for the City of Bowling Green.
Awesome.
And I'm happy to be here. My name is Jake Willis. I'm the brand new athletics coordinator for Bowling Green Parks and Rec.
Brand new.
Yeah. 5 months in, guys.
That's right. Yeah, we're getting him on the podcast before that 6-month probationary period.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is fantastic. No, so I'm excited for you guys to join us today. You know, obviously, when we do these Parks and Rec episodes, it's all about being able to introduce our community to the fun things that we offer. The parks are not whole without recreation, without the programs that we do, giving people an opportunity to enjoy our facilities, our parks, and truly find what it is that they enjoy in life, right? That's how we enhance quality of life. And sports are an integral part of every Parks and Rec department, and that is especially true for us here at Bowling Green Parks and Rec. So, you know, one of the things I enjoy most on the podcast is getting to highlight our guests, highlight our people and our staff and the amazing things that they do, but also just introduce the community to who you guys are. And so I would love for us to just talk a little bit about your all's journey. You know, we've already said it. We'll let him talk about his journey with Jake. I already said he's the new guy on the block, but Pete has been doing incredible things for Bowling Green Parks and Rec in our city for a long, long time. So Pete, can you just talk a little bit about your journey with us here and where you started, how you got to where you are, and all that good stuff?
Okay, I started off, I guess my sports journey started at BG East Little League as an umpire when I was 16 years old.
Behind the plate?
Behind the plate.
Okay.
Yeah. Loved officiating. Started officiating basketball for Bowling Green Parks and Rec, so I started off here as a referee, then became a park attendant for Parks and Recreation, and I was an athletics coordinator after that, and worked my way up to sports and wellness manager.
That's awesome. So what year was that you started as an umpire?
1998.
Not to age you or anything.
Sorry, umpire was 1996. Referee was 98.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was born in 93.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. We're not trying to make you feel bad. No, that's awesome. Yeah, wow, 96. So it's almost been 30 years.
That's awesome.
In the world of Parks and Rec and in sports, which is incredible. So what have you learned, I guess, through that process? You know, starting as an umpire and working your way up to referee, park attendant. We may have to explain a little bit about what a park attendant does.
Yeah, so park attendants, they oversee our sports leagues, whether it's basketball, volleyball, tennis, I'm naming off several that we offer. Yeah, so they maintain the chalk and maintain the fields, oversee the participants, make sure everybody's safe, and close it down at the end of the night. So
awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, so we have so many examples, you know, just like Pete, working in the city, especially in our Parks and Recreation department, that, you know, start out as a part-time employee, start out as even an intern, you know, that work with us, that then kind of catch that itch if they didn't have it before to be in the field of Parks and Rec, to be in the field of sport, you know, realize that it can be a career, and then work their way up to a full-time position. And now, you know, Pete is leading our sports and wellness division, you know, as part of our management team. And I think it's awesome, you know, so I you know, obviously we're very lucky to have you, Parks and Rec, Pete, and somebody who cares for the community like you do. So we appreciate that we get to be a part of your journey.
Yeah, if I could just add, I think the community's very happy to have him. Every time he's at Coomer and stuff, everyone's always, he's like the mayor. He's he's shaking hands with everybody.
100%.
So it's that's cool to see. That's cool to see.
There's not hardly anybody that doesn't know Pete Samios.
Yeah.
If you had to guesstimate across those 30 years, you know, we'll get into it, but for example, this year, you know, we've almost got 800 youth basketball participants. Mm-hmm. You think about that number across a 30-year period, and that's just one sport. And we'll talk about all the sports that we offer, but it's got to be 100,000 plus, right?
Yeah.
You know, the participants that you've been able to interact and be around during your time with the city. And we talk so much in the world of Parks and Rec that, I mean, we're in the business of enhancing quality of life. we're in the business of creating smiles, and that sounds cliche, but it's true.
Yeah.
You know, we come to work every day and try to put a smile on a person's face. So really, Pete, the math tells me that you've put 100,000 smiles on people's faces during your career, which that's incredible, right?
The kids that are playing now are the kids that I officiated when they were kids. So
Sure.
yeah.
Wow.
Their parents, right?
Yeah, their parents.
Any grandparents yet?
Not yet.
Are you going to be around for that?
I hope to be.
Yeah, there we go. I love it. No, but that's awesome, Pete. We again, as a coworker, you know that I appreciate getting to work with you every day. So thanks for everything you've done. We could wrap the podcast right there if we want. I'm just kidding. So Jake, tell us a little bit. Again, you're the new guy on the block, but you're not new to the field of Parks and Rec. So tell us a little bit about your journey to working with us at Bowling Green Parks.
My entry into Parks and Rec was it's kind of funny. So I was a physical education major at Kentucky Wesleyan, and we were doing a class. We had rented out the Edge Ice Center, and I'd not been ice skating since first grade, and that could be a different podcast entitled, Bad Field Trip Ideas for First Graders. But it ended up with 13 stitches in my eye. But we were at the Edge Ice Center in Owensboro doing a class, a physical education class, and I didn't know how to tie my skates. So I had a woman came up to me, helped me. Her name was Miss Carrie Bodenheimer. And right then and there, she offered me a job as a softball supervisor at Fisher Park. And so it was just like, honestly, if I had skipped that class that day, maybe I wouldn't be in Parks and Rec. So I, was softball supervisor for about 6 months. Got promoted, within 9 months there to the recreation specialist. And then I was overseeing the Fisher Park over there in Owensboro. And then I went to Edge Ice Center and stuff, and got Zamboni trained and all that. So that was my.
You know how to drive a Zamboni?
Man, you should have seen me. I was so fast on it too.
That's like a goal.
It's great. I always wish we had another seat for to provide like a ride for somebody, but we never had that. But
you could probably charge like an amusement
ride.
It
would have been great.
That's another revenue stream for Parks
and Rec. There we go.
Zamboni rides on Tuesday nights.
But yeah, so I was in Owensboro for a little bit, and then my second stint in Parks and Rec was in Murray, Kentucky, as the program coordinator and the social media coordinator down there. And so I was down there, and then I just got married in July. I saw this job was open, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to try to get back in Parks and Rec, and not to be too sappy, but Parks and Rec just provides a little bit more purpose than, what I was doing at that time. So, the purpose is there, and I was like, I think I need more of a purpose, to get up out of bed every day. And so I'm lucky to be here, learning from Pete and Cody now. So
we're ecstatic to have you, and I'm so glad you touched on the purpose behind what we do. I mentioned it a second ago, and there's so many purposes behind the field of Parks and Rec. Raina had to hear me talk about this on a podcast recently because it's so true. The podcast I was on, the person hosting it for the Daily Parks and Rec show was asking me, why is there such high retention in Parks and Rec? And it truly does come back to that. It comes back to the fact that we get to literally be a part of the equation that is people finding an enhanced quality of life. And fill in the blank on what that looks like, right? And there's a lot of ways to define that. But ultimately, what we do makes people's lives better, we hope, right? If we come into it with the right mindset. And so, no, it's so true. I mean, we have the best jobs in the world to be able to work in the field of Parks and Recreation and make a difference, leave a legacy of fun, of play, of all those things that last a lifetime. Some people's greatest memories are started in the park and are started in sports, and when you're first time you hit a home run, the first time that you win a little league championship, whatever the case may be, the first time that you hit a shot you've been trying all season, right? And you always come up short or off the side of the rim, and then that one game at the end of the season you make your first basket, like you never forget that as a kid, right? And so those are our lifelong memories that you get to be a part of. So I'm glad you said that. So, well, thank you guys for introducing yourselves. Different journeys, but all in the same, which I think is pretty cool. So we are fortunate to have you both in our athletic department. So let's get into that a little bit. Let's just share with the public. I mean, there's never a dull moment in the world of Parks and Rec across all of our divisions. When we finish one thing, we move
On
right
to
to
the
the
next.
next, right?
Yep.
And so we're recording this episode in the middle of January. So let's just kind of go through our calendar year for the public, walking through the sports that we offer and the programs that we do, just kind of giving a snapshot of each one of them.
Yeah, so we currently have 770 kids playing in our youth basketball league. That's grades 1 through 12. Games are played weeknights at Coombe Little Recreation Center, starting at 5:30 and wrapping up around 8:30, as well as Saturday mornings from 9 to 3. So yeah, the season's going terrific to this point. Jake, you want to chime in on a little bit on youth basketball?
Yes, like Pete said, we are out there every day till about 8:30, 9 o'clock. That's really determined on, how many fouls are called during a game, And
Any overtime?
we've had one overtime game so
Okay,
far,
all right, cool.
and it was a great game. Like, I wish we had filmed it.
An absolute barn burner, right?
That's right.
It really was, though, the buzzer beater, to win the game. So that, speaking of memories, that kid's
Yeah.
going to have that memory for the rest of his
Forever.
life. That
He's
might
going to
be,
tell his kids,
that might
one
be
day
on
your
his,
dad.
yeah, I was going to say, that might be on his resume, But no, like, we've had a great time with basketball this year. I think Pete and Cody, they've learned from past seasons, and so this season has been really, it's been great to be a part of, just because I was kind of scared, I was kind of worried, because it is the largest program that we do offer at Bowling Green Parks and Rec. So, it was kind of frightening to be like, all right, yeah, I'm starting. Oh, wait, what? We're expecting 770, participants.
Across 4 courts.
Yeah, and so, with practices and stuff, we are happy to partner with, elementary schools like Dishman, Potter Gray, McNeil. Am I forgetting one? Parker Bennett Curry. So we're very fortunate to be able to use those courts for practice, because if we didn't have those, I mean, we would have half the teams not practicing, during the week. So we're very fortunate about that. But yeah, so each team's been getting about one practice per week, and then typically a game per week. So they've been getting their skill development, it's been starting since the first week of November. So
that's awesome, and that's become a large focus of what we do. And Pete, if you can talk a little bit about kind of that shift in focus we had about a year ago, reimagining what our really all of our sports, our youth sports, can look like, really focusing on the kid.
We're not trying to remove the competitive nature of sports. It's going to be competitive, but we're trying to focus more on skill development, the fundamentals of the game, whichever game that is, baseball, softball, basketball, lacrosse. Jake has done a terrific job of setting up skill clinics. I was just very happy with you want to talk about that at all, the skill clinic part?
Yeah, with the skill clinics, we just set up some stations. We offered these skill clinics to boys and girls up to 5th and 6th grade. What happens is, when you get older, typically the number goes down, like the attendance rate goes down. But
that's how it is in a lot of communities. I can remember growing up in Louisville, and once you hit middle school, we didn't have middle school or high school divisions at the Parks Department like we do here.
Yeah,
because you typically see that. So I think that makes it unique. So
right, and so younger ones, 1st and 2nd grade, 3rd and 4th grade, man, our skills clinics, we had about 20 to 25% of our league roster attend those skill clinics. And we just did stations. We would provide or do a little bit of a game at the end there to make it a little bit a fun way to end it. Then we'll be offering another skills clinic. We're actually planning on a skills clinic on the last week of January. So for those who are listening and are in that mass email list that I send out, just be on the lookout for a flyer there. So be from jake.willis@bgky.org.
Nice little plug there. No, that's awesome though. The state of youth sports, we could probably do a podcast in and of itself. Nationally and everywhere, the trend has for a while been going towards that competitive nature becoming a little too over the top. I think everywhere you see your 2nd and 3rd graders having the fun kind of sucked out of learning the sport, just because that competitive aspect of it took so much precedence. That's a detriment to the child, right? At the end of the day, like them wanting to learn the sport, wanting to be a part of the sport. If the fun sucked away from it, it's harder to encourage them to participate. Burnout comes quicker, all those things. And so I think the reimagining of our approach, more practices than games,
2-to-1 ratio.
Right, yeah, 2-to-1 ratio of practices to games, just trying to focus on that skill development so a child learns the sport before they decide if they want to be super competitive with it or not. I think it's been well received by the community. It's an adjustment. Anytime you make an overhaul change like that of a program people had become used to, it's an adjustment. But I think overall the feedback that we've received as a department and you all have received specifically in your nightly interactions with parents and kids, I think has been overwhelmingly positive. And I think it helps us stand apart as a department and as an athletics program. And so job well done to you guys for rolling that out and staying committed to it, as we continue to make our programs most beneficial for the community that we serve. And so I think that's been a great thing, and I look forward to seeing how that continues. So
yeah, can we discuss the change that was made, the N1?
The end of the season format.
So basically, we no longer do a postseason tournament. We match teams up based upon their skill level.
Sure.
So, for an example, an 18 division, the 1 seed would play the 2 seed, the 3, the 4, et cetera. And it's worked really well. So every game is competitive at the end of the season.
It's almost like their last game is going to be a championship game caliber.
No doubt.
For everything.
Because what used to happen, like in our tournament, first round games.
Yeah, like the 1 seed would have to play the 8 seed, and it wasn't a good game.
So, the 8 seed's last game is a blowout.
Yeah.
Right, and we would have. We would have games in Coomer Little sometimes. You'd look at the scoreboard, and it's 60-2.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, for those kids, that's not enjoyable.
No.
It's not enjoyable for the parents. It's not enjoyable for the coaches. It's not enjoyable for us.
Yeah.
To watch kids not have fun in that sense. And I can't speak enough to your all's work in changing that. Obviously I know Brent Belcher, our director, was a big part of working with you, Pete, on kind of coming up with that format change and just going back to the drawing board. And I think that's a common theme with us in the world of Parks and Rec too, is we're constantly evaluating and looking at what we do. How can we be better? How can we be more creative? How can we add a little more spunk to this? How can we have a little more fun with this? And if something's working, we're not necessarily going to change it. But if something's not working and we see that we can serve the community better, we definitely hit the drawing board and try to constantly evolve what we do. And that's always, I think, going to be a part of our process.
For sure.
I think it's been great. So basketball ends here in a few weeks.
Mid-February?
Pending snow days.
Mid-February.
Knock on wood here.
That's right. Yeah, schedule changes are tough. But we finish youth basketball and then give us a snapshot on what we're rolling into.
So we're rolling into, our adult basketball league and our adult volleyball league. We'll start up mid-February. February 6th is our managers meeting for our winter adult basketball league. We had 36 teams, believe it or not, last season.
And that had to change a little bit. We used to offer that in conjunction with youth basketball. They were going on at the same time, and that calendar shift, I think there was not a fear, but a little bit of an apprehension. Is this going to affect participation? But it didn't, which is awesome. So
yeah, we'll have games in Coomer Little for adult basketball starting mid-February, Monday through Friday. Hoping to have all 36 teams back, and more. Our winter adult volleyball league will start up as well. Season begins the week of February 17th. Our co-ed A and B are just super popular. As soon as we get the email out that the league registration's available, it seems to fill up within a couple hours. So it's pretty amazing how quickly that division fill up. Our co-ed C division, which is our recreational division, plays on Tuesday nights. Excuse me. It's maxed out as well here recently. 4-man open division plays on Wednesdays, and our women's division, which just recently came back last spring. So the women's division kind of went away for a while. Luckily, we've had a group of 6 teams that are wanting to bring that division back, and
That's
so
awesome.
we'll be playing every Thursday in F.L. Moxley Center, Car Gym.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So after adult volleyball,
So
what do we roll into?
so then we're still planning on our spring right now. So we have
Weather starts to get nicer.
Yeah.
So we move back out to the park, right?
So we're targeting Saturday, March 1st for our youth lacrosse clinic. Doug Wiles oversees that program, and he does a great job at that. We'll also have targeting our T-ball coach pitch and machine pitch league as well for March 1st deadline.
I would be remiss, and if I can jump in real quick, Pete, that
Sure.
our lacrosse program, was a unique start. Tried to find that niche, tried to add something to the community that wasn't already here. It was the 2020 award winner for Program of the Year at the Kentucky Recreation and Park Society Conference. So
Started off with as a grant from Nick Cook.
absolutely,
to
our
get the
grants
equipment.
coordinator for the city, great friend of the Parks Department, Nick
Yes,
Cook.
sir.
Yeah, always helping us find ways to achieve what we can, even when we don't have the budget to do it. So that's awesome. But an award-winning program with our lacrosse clinic, and Pete, I honestly think it may be a little bit far-reaching for us to make this assumption, but I think without our youth lacrosse program starting, I think we've been influential in lacrosse becoming a bigger sport here, even at the high school level, just in Bowling
sure.
Green.
Yeah.
I think it's been able to introduce, some of our high school players that are playing currently to the sport, and has definitely helped with that growth, if you want to speak to that at all.
Yeah, let's see, it was around 2018, there was a Greenwood team / Bowling Green team that combined travel and play some other high schools. But as of now, South Warren, Bowling Green, and Greenwood all have high school lacrosse teams.
Yeah.
It recently
awesome.
became a KHS AA sport. So the kids from our program are the ones playing for the high school teams in this area.
No, that's incredible. Obviously lacrosse is a northeastern sport, but Louisville, where I grew up, has had it at the high school level for a long time, even if it wasn't an official high school sport. But a lot of that had to do with U of L having programs and bigger cities, so they're able to introduce it. So for us, here in Bowling Green, through a grant and through some alternative funding, to be able to start a unique sport like lacrosse and help influence the way it grows in the schools. Again, we'll get into this later in the podcast, but a lot of sports and opportunities for sports, they start in the park. It's just been cool for us to be able to influence the growth of a sport in our community beyond just our department.
I'm
Again,
excited
just speaks
about
volumes to y'all's work. So,
Yeah, I'm excited about how young it is right now.
Absolutely.
Our participation in that league is mainly first through third or fourth graders, so it's got a lot of potential to develop into much bigger league.
No, that's awesome. And absolute shout out to Doug Wiles that Pete mentioned a second ago that helps lead that program. Just does a fantastic job for us leading our lacrosse program. So lacrosse is on the horizon in the spring. What else do we have in the spring?
The spring we'll have some T-ball, coach pitch, baseball, and softball. And
Awesome.
we recently introduced a machine pitch league for girls 9 to 12. Is that correct? Yeah, girls ages 9 to 12. So we started off with a spring-loaded Louisville Slugger. I don't know if you've ever seen one. Blue Flame. It kind of lobs the ball in there.
Oh, cool.
And we recently got a donation of an actual jugs machine. So
That's awesome.
we purchased a generator to power the machine, and we don't have a drop cord running across the field.
Yeah. No trip hazards.
No trip
Safety
hazards.
first.
Safety first.
Shout out to Safety Dave, our safety and risk manager.
But so that league is starting to show some growth as well.
Yeah.
You're not getting every aspect of the game because there's not a pitcher, where typically there's a pitcher for that age group. But the girls they're better hitters because of it, I feel like. So they're
that's
still
awesome.
getting a huge part of softball.
And that moves us into summer, right?
No, we're still in spring. We're still
Oh,
in spring.
man, I'm
yeah.
like jumping the
Damn.
gun.
Yeah. So we got
You
some
can see we have so much to offer.
adult flag football this spring
There we go.
that I'm excited about. Those games will be played in late April and May. Adult softball will fire up in April as well.
That's a historic program for us, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Adult softball has always kind of been the calling card for Bowling Green Parks and Rec for a long time.
For
So,
sure.
That's awesome.
Once we wrap up our winter 5-on-5 league, we'll have a 3-on-3 program with our brand new 4-point shot in Coomer Little. So it's also the dodgeball circle. So we use the volleyball court lines to play dodgeball.
So 3v3 basketball,
Yeah.
an Olympic sport now.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we're excited about that as well. That's about it for spring, and that rolls into summer, of course, which is we'll have our annual track meet again this year that I'm excited about at Bowling Green High School.
No, that's been a cool introduction. Pete was around when we used to do Hershey's track and field, which used to be a large national youth track and field program, and I know they used to take trips up to Hershey, Pennsylvania for for some track meets and all that good stuff. But that program fell off years ago, and it's been neat to bring back, the sport of track and field. That's my favorite sport, that I got to do in high school and college, and just being able to bring that to our department and try to introduce more youth to the sport of track and field has been a great opportunity. So that's something we did for the first time last year, the first annual Alonzo Webb track and field clinic / meet. So we transitioned from adult softball, into our tennis program.
Yeah, so we actually do have a pretty a nice, fast-growing tennis program right now. We're offering, each month of the year up until the end of October, we're offering a tennis program for youth and adults. So with our youth, we do offer, Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday sessions, and those sessions are 4 to 5:30 or 5:30 to 7. And for the adults, on Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, those sessions start at 7:15 and go till about 8:15. So listening to this, you've always wanted to try out tennis, or you think your kids might be interested in being the next Federer, definitely come out. We have some great tennis instructors who are passionate about the game and are great teachers of the game. We do use former players and a current high school player helping us with that program. So we're very happy with the program itself, and we do get a lot of returning participants with that. So we get, since I started late August, I saw an August participant go August, September, October. So they got the same, they got the same program layout 3 months in a row, and they had fun each time. So, but yeah, we're definitely happy with that program, and it's also kind of just fun to be out there, hitting some balls around too.
Absolutely. So. Tennis for us has had a big boom, over the last 3 years, and a lot of that had to do with COVID. Tennis and golf are two of the few sports that you could play safely during the pandemic, and hopefully we continue to transition out of talking about COVID. Ultimately, COVID did do a lot of good things for us because it allowed us to grow sports like tennis, and we have a lot of great partners within the tennis community here in Bowling Green, from Soki Tennis to USTA Kentucky, that help us do a lot of our programs, and they recognize the importance of growing the sport of tennis in the parks and support our efforts in that. And so it's exciting to see that sport continue to grow. It's a great sport to learn at all ages, even if you've never played, and we like to kind of be that entity that introduces it. If you want to take it further than that, there's opportunities for that, but for us at Bowling Green Parks and Rec, if whatever your skill level, you can come learn the sport of tennis, and hope to see that program continue to grow, and I know it will. So
yeah, even if you know how to play tennis, a lot of the adults that came out the last few months of the 2024, it was for social.
Sure, absolutely.
To make friends, and those participants definitely, they, created friendships there on those last couple months there. So,
that's awesome.
So that was cool to see too.
Very cool. So tennis.
Yeah.
Anything else in the spring? We'll talk about some of our new programs later in the podcast, so we'll keep those a secret for now. But
the first week, which is typically in April, of BG East Little League Baseball, we'll have a special event on the first Wednesday of their regular season, and it's MLB's pitch, hit, and run competition.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Kids will aim at a target, get 6 pitches, and then hit for accuracy plus distance.
That's awesome.
And as well as run 90 feet, or basically like shortstop to home in a competition. And we've had some kids advance to Cincinnati Reds competition in July. So
awesome.
We're hoping to keep the streak going and continue to have kids make it to the Cincinnati level.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Karyakis Park, of course, is the home of our BG East Little League. So all the Little League World Series teams that have come out of Bowling Green over the last decade plus, all make their home in Karyakis Park, which is cool for us to be a part of.
Yeah.
That's great. So Little League Baseball, of course, spring into summer. Any other spring sports to highlight before we, I guess, move into the summer part of the calendar?
It's a lot. So
that's
yeah,
that's all we want to mention.
Yeah. We're gonna mention some other things later that are in the works that we're having fun talking about and dreaming up. But summer in Parks and Rec, I've mentioned it on this podcast before when we've talked aquatics and summer camps. But summer is truly, our time to shine in the world of Parks and Rec. That's when school's out, everybody's in the parks. teachers send us the kids to take care of for 3 months, and we kind of reach our limit, I guess, at the end of August and send them right back to school. But no, it's definitely our time to shine in the world of Parks and Rec, and not only aquatics, not only summer camps, but sports are in full swing. So what are some of the things that we offer in the summer?
Okay, so we have a brand new program we're going to offer this summer. It's a youth basketball league for grades 1 through 4.
Yeah, super excited about this.
Yes, it's an outdoor program at
That's
Parker
awesome.
Bennett Community Center courts.
Yeah.
So
we have 3 courts out there, I believe.
3 courts
Yep.
out there. Be on the lookout, around the end of May for registration, and we're very excited about the potential of that program.
It's going to be awesome.
Of course, we have the Alonzo Webb track meet coming up.
Yeah, brand new last summer.
Summer.
Yeah, and just to give you guys a little bit of a history on, track and field. There used to be a national program called Hershey's Track and Field that kind of existed as a recreational opportunity to learn the different sports and events that are in track and field. Your throws, your jumps, your sprints, your mid-distance, distance, all those fun things. When that program went away, probably over a decade ago, we still want to introduce kids to track and field. That's my favorite sport. It's what I did in high school and college. And just to have the opportunity to introduce track to our local kids. We have so many great high school programs here locally. Western Kentucky University has a historic track and field and cross country program. So kind of hitting that grassroots level of introducing kids to track and field and letting them know that that's a sport of opportunity for them has been fun. And we had some high school coaches volunteer with us in our program last year, and that's been a fun thing for us to introduce. So looking forward to doing that annually.
We'll also have a summer youth lacrosse league, and once again our tennis camp will continue to roll through the summer in June and July and August, as well as adult softball and adult sand volleyball at this point. So we've had a couple of seasons of indoor volleyball, and it's during the summer months, early fall, we roll outside to Preston Miller courts and play some basically beach volleyball.
I love it.
I think that's one of the coolest things we offer here
Absolutely.
in Bowling Green. I think the sand volleyball, I think that's just so cool.
And I think the opportunity to grow that program is something that we've talked about even recently, and very excited to see the direction that it takes. It's certainly becoming a more popular sport at the collegiate level. There's a lot of universities that are adding that, and maybe we can be a part of trying to bring that to the Hill, working with WKU, and just excited to grow that other opportunity to play the sport of volleyball and make people feel like they've hit the beach.
Honestly,
here in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
You pull up to the parking lot, it looks like a beach parking lot.
No doubt.
The sand
That's
is
true.
The sand
That's
is on the
man.
concrete.
Yeah. Maybe we can add some things out there. Maybe a few palm trees in the corner,
nice.
and all that kind of stuff. So just create the ambiance. A little bit of a plug aside from athletics, but we always like to say at the Russell Sims Aquatic Center that this is your vacation right here at home, right? Come make you feel like you've stepped into a tropical oasis at the water park. Well,
nice.
We've got sand volleyball courts, not even a football field away.
Yeah.
So maybe some sandcastle competitions,
Hey, there you go.
different things in the sand just to make it feel like a beach.
Yeah.
So I love it. So that's a fun sport for us. Are we still in summer, or have we moved into the fall?
We're starting to roll in the fall now.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
I love it.
So youth baseball's back around, T-ball, coach pitch, and machine pitch once again for boys and girls. Still playing some tennis. Our tennis games are still rolling at Kariakis
Leaves are
Park.
falling. We are still playing tennis.
That's right. And I guess Jake, to jump in, that was kind of when you started with us.
Yeah.
So what was your first sport, I guess, that you did with us?
So the baseball, it was the T-ball. So I basically ran T-ball as soon as I started, and I decided to, be kind of more involved in it. I umpired every single game.
Oh, there we go.
And so basically I did the thing where before the game started, and I'm not going to yell into the mic, but I before the game started, I would be like, there'd be a team on the field, a team in the dugout, and then fans and parents out in the stands, and I'd be like, Mudcats, are you ready? And then they would go, yeah. Dust Devils, are you ready? Yeah. And then be like, fans, are you ready?
There we go.
And so kind of get them more, get them to think like, hey, this is an actual crazy game right here.
love that.
So
The
but
T-ball field at Lambkin Park has never felt so alive until
honestly,
Jake Willis
I
showed up.
Hey, it's on record now. But yeah, then tennis was the second. I was kind of doing T-ball and tennis at the same time. But yeah, tennis has been great so far. I've really no complaints, and like I said before, just great instructors.
That's awesome.
So,
No, that's really cool. And we we did a video in probably last year during our biddy ball program where we mic'd up some kiddos while they were on the court
That's
for biddy ball.
hilarious.
We might have to do that for t-ball
that is so
because that there's some funny things.
that for sure.
So we might have to do that for t-ball this coming summer and
For
keep
sure.
that rolling. So I'm getting confirmation from our fantastic broadcast team.
That's an amazing
over here,
idea.
Raina and Jack that are telling me yes. So appreciate them always entertaining our ridiculous ideas. We have a blast, as you can tell, from Jake's story with that. Just have a blast, being able to see kids enjoy and adults being a part of our leagues and sports. So I mean that rolls us through fall, and then we're right back around to youth basketball, right? In the winter.
Yeah. So fall we'll have baseball, softball, lacrosse, tennis going on, adult softball again, adult volleyball is coming back indoors at this point.
Sure.
Play some kickball at some point
There we go.
in the fall.
Kind of want to get the league started with kickball, big time.
Yeah.
So,
And just to give people an idea too, of some other sports programs you may see us offer, biddy ball, biddy cheer. Our athletics department obviously helps with that, but that is all run through our Moxley Community Center. Our staff over there with Braxton and Shawnetta, the staff at Parker Bennett, help organize our biddy ball league, which of course introduces basketball to kids. And then, biddy cheer is a new program that we've started, just trying to introduce cheer, to our youngest youth in the community. And they also do some other youth kickball, dodgeball, wiffle ball programs. And so not just athletics doing these sports programs, but also our community centers finding ways to reach our youth. And so that's a pretty full calendar, guys. Tell the community, when do you guys sleep?
literally, what we were talking about on the way over is like, yeah, man, we've been having a tough time sleeping. Like,
We're always on the clock. But it's a joy. Provide a full calendar, not have any downtime, and help people find what it is that they enjoy. And again, that's ultimately our goal. Amongst all these sports, we want people to find their niche. We want people to find what it is they enjoy doing. Whether you played the sport, as a kid and want to come back to it, played it in college, want to come back to it. Pete, we were just talking yesterday. We've had some pretty cool people that have played in our leagues over the years. What I would call Hilltopper legends on the basketball court. Ty Rogers and
Anthony Winchester.
Yeah.
Boris.
Yeah, Boris Siakam, just some cool names for all you Hilltopper faithful out there. Have been a part of our leagues. Ben Hansborough has been in our leagues before. Yeah. Maybe his brother Tyler has hit the court some with us before. So it's just been neat to some college basketball legends play in our rec league, and I think that just shows the importance of what we do. Right?
Mike Wells, I can't leave Mike out.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Hey, I have a name, Matt Maresca.
That's right.
He's coaching with us now. So,
that's right. Yeah. So it's neat to see, some of those names we just mentioned that kind of reached that pinnacle of the sport of basketball. They were able to play at the Division I level, but they recognized the importance and integral role that, a local Parks and Rec department plays in introducing what we hope is that next wave of Division I basketball players, our local high school players, introducing them to the sport, allowing them to develop. And so it's just neat to be a part of that, life cycle, if you will, of sport and introducing kids to that. So let's talk a little bit about, we went through our calendar, but as full as that calendar is, we're always trying to introduce other things, right? So what are some of those sports that, we all kind of have conversations about looking at adding?
Dodgeball. I want to bring back adult dodgeball. We had a league prior to COVID, and
Tony Rose, if you're out there, every time I've been on his radio show, just promoting different events or programs, he always brings up the fact that he played in our dodgeball league years ago.
Yeah.
I think maybe we need to call it the Tony Rose Dodgeball League. He may like that.
Yeah. We offered a volleyball league and had a few teams register this winter. We're hoping.
Explain a little bit about what volleyball is for those that don't know. Again, that is Wally, not volley.
That is Wally. So the key word is wall. So that is volleyball inside of a racquetball court. So you're able to use the wall to your advantage. It could be your disadvantage as well, because it could be an easy, spike for the other team. But yeah, so that's just volleyball inside a racquetball court, and it was a really fast-paced game. So we did offer that, and then unfortunately some teams had to back out for some scheduling conflicts, but that happens in Parks and Rec. So we just try to offer it again and work with those who sign up, the best we can. And but yeah, we're definitely excited to offer that again this year, 2025. I was about to say next year.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
we never give up on a sport.
No,
we always keep trying.
No, just always keep, because there's going to be people in the community that that just moved here probably.
That's
and
right.
It's like, hey,
yeah.
we had a volleyball league in our community, and so it's like you just try every single year. You just try to offer it, and you might
100%.
get some new people. And then we've discussed pickleball action.
Pickleball's not. I mean, it's not that popular. I'm just kidding.
Right.
Pickleball. I promise you. I think for years it's been talked about as a trend, but even more so now. It's like if you tell somebody you work in Parks and Rec, oh, have you guys heard of pickleball? Yes.
I got my teeth cleaned today, and I was asked about pickleball.
There we go.
But
a pickleball league would be awesome. Our courts. We for those listening. If you didn't know, Warren County Parks has a great pickleball facility out at Basil Griffin, but in the city, we've added pickleball courts down at Roland Bland, converted some of our tennis courts that we had there that weren't getting used a whole lot to, I guess, six pickleball courts. Possibly looking at even adding more, because if you drive down there on any given night, it is packed. It gets a lot of use from Hilltopper students. It gets a lot of use from our avid pickleball community in the morning, and so they are constantly at use. And so we've had some cool conversations about what can we do to make this feel like a really championship field pickleball facility. And so a pickleball league is kind of that next step. I think it could be very successful. So looking at doing that. Which is cool.
Well, we are offering pickleball at Coomer currently, right?
Yeah, indoor. So our two gyms, the Carr Gym at the Moxley Community Center, and then the Coomer Little Recreation Center. When the floors got redone, we did paint some permanent pickleball lines onto those courts. So we have 2 on each basketball court, which means across the 2 facilities, there's the opportunity for us to have 8 pickleball courts at one time. And so, offering, Tuesday, Thursdays right now from 7 to 10 a.m. down at Coomer Little. If you want to try to hit some pickleball before you head into work,
for sure.
You have the opportunity to do that down there. And,
for sure.
The fun thing that we've always talked about, again, we like to have fun with what we do, but if we start a pickleball league, guys, as long as you promise me to name the teams after different kinds of pickles.
Give me some examples, Cam.
I got plenty. The Bread and Butter Ballers.
All right, I'm down for it. Put you on the spot
Let's
here.
see. Yeah, I know. The
Fighting Deals? Is that right?
Fighting Dills. That was another one. Thank you. Thank you, Pete, for reminding me of that one. Yeah, just all kinds of great pickleball names. The Fighting Dills sound like the juggernaut. That's like the Patriots of pickleball. They're going to, I feel like, constantly win the league. So, yeah, I think we can have a lot of fun with promoting that program and just introducing something fun to our community. So, looking forward to that. Another one we've talked about just recently, I might bring a 4th guest onto the podcast, Ultimate Frisbee. We were approached, I was in a class that I teach up at Western by a grad student who works in Campus Rec, an avid Ultimate player in the world of Ultimate Frisbee at his undergrad university, James Madison, and came to me and was like, hey, can we start an Ultimate Frisbee league? And that's kind of the process for us, right, Pete, and Jake. If people come to us, my philosophy is if there's at least one person asking for something, it's our duty to look into that, right, and see if it's possible for us to make something happen and get a good response. So Jack, our intern in the broadcasting department, the PIO office here with the city, let us know that he's an Ultimate Frisbee player. So tell us a little bit about what it would mean to you to start Ultimate Frisbee here in Bowling Green.
It'd be a super cool thing to see. I played it all throughout high school, and it was a super special occasion each year. A lot of brotherhood built, a lot of friendships built. Sure. It was super special, and so once I got to college here, I'm in Franklin, Tennessee, and I came to Bowling Green for school. I just never found like a team or anything to play with. I just never found where to start with it here in this state. So I kind of fell out of it. Still have a love for the sport. So I mean, to see it come to Parks and Rec would be super cool to see. So
absolutely,
yeah, it'd be awesome.
I think that speaks to what Jake was saying a minute ago too. With volleyball, maybe we didn't hit that mark right the first time we tried it, but to your point, somebody Bowling Green, we talk about it so often, is the fastest growing community in the state of Kentucky. We talk about where our population is supposed to be by 2050. We talk about hitting 100,000 people at some point just in the city, 250,000 people just in the county. And so there's always going to be somebody that could move here, call Bowling Green home, and they're looking to play volleyball. Or to Jack's point, he grew up playing ultimate frisbee and he comes to Bowling Green and then can't find where to play it. We kind of want to be that role, right? As the Parks Department, we want to be the place that you can come to and say, hey, this is a sport that I grew up playing. Is there a chance that you all could offer it? Well, yeah, heck yeah, let's look at it. Let's find a way to do it. And so explain a little bit, just in layman's terms, if you had to write an ultimate frisbee for dummies book, what is ultimate frisbee?
The way I describe it to people that aren't familiar with it, it's just a cross of football and soccer, essentially. So you take all the running in soccer, just running up and down the field constantly, and you kind of integrate the system of football where the kickoff essentially is you throwing the frisbee from the other end of the end zone. The opposing team catches it and works it up the field by passing it to the teammates, but as you catch it, you can't move anymore. So it's non-contact. You just can't run with the disc. You just have to move it up and down the field by passing it to your teammates.
Sweet.
And so you work with your team in that sense. You get to build that brotherhood that I was talking about earlier. So it's super special once you get to feel the flow going, get to see the magic going. It's a lot of fun to see. So.
Honestly,
awesome.
One of the great things is the feeling of a frisbee and catch it. That's a great feeling.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll vouch on that. Absolutely.
100%. Yeah. No, that's awesome. I bet you're probably a good disc golf player too then, right?
Oh.
I've probably played one round of disc golf in my life.
Fair
so I can't tell you if it went good or bad, but man, I'll get back out there. So
I love it. Well, there's a little bit of cross, from the skill set.
Yeah, it's very similar.
No, that's cool. Pete, me, you, and Brent Belcher, our director, were talking about this last night, but oftentimes ultimate frisbee, it's a lot of times referred to as ultimate, right?
They'll just call it ultimate.
So I got to make sure I get it right. But it shows up on ESPN the Ocho, which if you don't know what that is, that's like the off the wall channel for ESPN, which I feel like was started in the movie Dodgeball, and then like ESPN was like, this is actually a really funny thing. Let's do this. So if you watch ESPN the Ocho whenever it's featured, there's a cornhole tournament or I don't know, the world's log rolling competition, and ultimate frisbee will show up on there sometimes. Sometimes it shows up in the top 10, like Countdown on Sports Center.
Sure.
I've seen that.
Have you ever witnessed a top 10 play?
Oh, it's funny enough.
Have you ever done one?
No, it's not me personally. Okay. One of my coaches when I was in high school, though, he ended up on one of the top 10 plays for ESPN.
That's crazy.
But he didn't make the play himself. He was on he was the guy that got scored on essentially. So we never let him live it down.
If we were to welcome him to help us, just like promote a ultimate clinic, we don't have to tell people that he was on the other end of the top 10.
No,
we can just say, hey, top 10 ultimate frisbee play person is going to be here to help us launch ultimate frisbee.
We don't need to tell them what number it is. It's just in the video somewhere. So just go along with
the guy catching it.
Exactly. Yeah. We try to introduce people that way. Like when I was in high school a couple years ago, we would just show people like top 10 clips or whatever on ESPN and be like, it's not just a little silly sport you out playing in your backyard. Like it's got a competitive level.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
super cool to
no
see.
Doubt.
Yeah, that higher level is really entertaining to watch.
Ultimate frisbee, when I was at Western, was a big club team for both women and men. Yeah, I think this is kind of the fun that we have, right? In terms of developing our athletic program, is sitting around the table thinking about new ways that we can offer sports. And Pete, I think it's all about, and Jake, it's all about helping people, again, find what it is that they enjoy. And if we have one person that's interested in something, again, it's our due diligence to try to offer that, because we want everybody to have the opportunity to enjoy a sport, even if they're not, interested in your typical sports like basketball, baseball, football. But yeah, maybe it is learning the sport of ultimate frisbee. Maybe it is maybe it's becoming the Federer of pickleball.
There you
I'm
go.
sorry to the pickleball world, I don't know who the Federer of pickleball
I know,
is.
me neither.
So I can't refer to them, but we'll just use Federer for now, or the Nadal, whatever you want to do, Djokovic, pickleball, but it's racket sports. But yeah, if somebody wants pickleball to be the sport that they play for the rest of their lives, and they have a better quality of life because we're offering it and giving them that opportunity. That's what we come to work to do on a daily basis. And so it's cool for us to creatively think about what our athletics and sport offering can be. Are there any other sports that are on the chopping block? Where in the adaptive world we always talk about like wheelchair rugby, or something like that. That might give Safety Dave, our safety and risk manager, he might not like that very much. But we're always wanting to imagine new ways to reach our community.
I played wheelchair basketball back in, November?
That's right.
Or something like that?
Shout out to our adaptive and inclusive rec division. It's where I got my start with the city of Bowling Green, so that program's near and dear to me. Madison Duncan and Hannah Staples that help run our adaptive rec program, offering sports to individuals with disabilities in our community, and we'll definitely have them on for a podcast episode. But plenty of sport opportunities for everybody to find what it is they love.
Yeah, I was drenched in sweat after my
It's a workout,
yeah,
man.
it really was.
No, 100%.
I felt it in my arms for days.
If you all had to attach, one, I know you have many goals. If there was one overarching goal for you and the work that you do in our sports and athletics division for our community, what would that be for you guys? I'm kind of putting you on the spot with it, but if you had to take all those goals and wrap them up in a fancy package with a beautiful bow, what would that be? What would you tell the community?
I mean, for me, it's just, I just want the community to know that, we're definitely, we're trying. We're trying to provide for, everyone in our community. So my goal is just to whenever my career ends, like, hey, he gave it his all. So
sure.
that's really just my goal. But, honestly, the amount of sports that we offer, like I guess, you mentioned ESPN Ocho. I guess there are some things we could, offer. We went to the KRPS convention. We learned about, log rolling. And
I did not say that as a joke earlier.
Yeah, no.
That is becoming a thing.
It seems like we might need to have an ESPN Ocho, subscription
Day?
or something.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, no, I think the goal is, just keep on providing as many of the programs and leagues as possible, just moving forward.
Absolutely.
For me, there's nothing more rewarding than watching kids improve from the start of the season to the end of the season. My nephew Tasso right now is playing for the Hilltoppers in our first and second grade division.
How much he's buckets.
He's improved. From start to finish. So favorite part of my job. Watching kids improve.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. You develop into the athlete that they want to be, whatever that looks like for them. Yeah. Be able to reach a goal, set a goal for themselves and be able to reach that. We truly do. I mean, we've had fun kind of joking around about some of these sports and stuff, but on the most serious note and truly what we're passionate about is just getting to be a part of that process. Pete mentioned it at the beginning, of the podcast, but there's kids in the leagues now, and Pete was reffing games when their parents played, and just getting to be a part of that process and see people enjoy, what we pour our hearts into. It could never be more rewarding than it is, right?
For sure.
And that's the beauty of being a professional in the world of Parks and Rec is just getting to see people's lives made better, what we get to be a part of.
And friendships just growing.
100%.
I'm still best friends with the guy I played baseball with when I moved.
That's right.
To McLean County. So
we say quite often.
Shout out Michael
too,
Calvert if you're listening.
I love it. We say quite often in our world too that parks build community and those connections and friendships and everything that you build.
Yep.
That's what we mean by that.
Yep,
That
for
is
sure.
true community, and parks and recreation builds that daily basis.
I often get an email from, somebody new to Bowling Green and interested in joining our volleyball league, let's say. So I'll reach out to the team managers, get them added to a team, and it's literally a community. Those guys, play their games and then go out to the restaurants afterwards together, and it's a true community, the volleyball.
I would love for you guys, I've mentioned a couple times during the podcast that, even some of our greatest athletes in the world, probably started their sports journeys in a local Parks and Rec youth league, probably the first place they were introduced to basketball, baseball, football, pickleball. So do you all have any yourselves when you were growing up playing sports where maybe you realized, oh, this is cool, like I love sports, I love this sport in particular? Do you have any moments that you can just kind of let us into your lives a little bit?
Yeah, so we actually had a pretty big yard at our house. We had originally lived in Ohio County in a little town outside of center town called Matanzas. So we had a pretty big yard. Me and my twin brother Nick, we would play baseball out there, have the ghost runners and all that, you know what I mean? A stump with second base. And so one year we were finally we told our parents, we would like to play in a league. And so we played in the Centertown Pee Wee League. We were the Arizona Diamondbacks when the Arizona Diamondbacks actually won the World Series.
I feel like I was too.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Yeah, I had the traditional purple and
purple,
teal.
Yeah, dude.
With the classic A.
Yeah, dude. Yep.
Before they went red and black, whatever they were in it.
The purple jerseys.
Yeah.
And
classic Diamondbacks.
Yeah, so in Pee Wee, there used to be a little, and it might still be the rule where they would chalk out a diagonal line, or not a diagonal line, like a curved line. And then they would put the two best players on the line. It just so happened to be me and my twin brother. So I caught a foul ball, caught a foul ball. A lot of the time the players don't know that you're supposed to tag up or not run at all. Not lying to you. They called me Triple Play Jake the rest of the season. Made a triple play as an 8-year-old or a 7-year-old.
So all you listeners out there, from now on, when you email Jake,
Triple Play Jake,
or call Jake, you have to refer
I
to
will
him as Triple
not
Play
reply
Jake.
unless you say. But no, that was probably my biggest memory. I remember my grandfather. He was just so proud of that. He told everyone, it's like, dude, come on.
That's awesome. I love that. Pete, what about you?
I grew up playing Little League Baseball, youth football, all that stuff. Some of my fondest memories were Sunday free play in the Moxley Center, between 1 and 6. So it was just some great pickup games back then. The wrong side of a dunk from Anthony Boyd, Brian Boyd brother.
I love it. Yeah. Just some great memories. I can remember one of my favorite memories. I was a baseball kid growing up until I got to high school and started doing track and field. But I can remember picture day, right? Your biggest day in sports. It's going to be with you forever, right? I was with my dad before picture day, and I fell and bumped my head on something. And so I had this huge knot on my forehead for picture day in youth baseball. And so ever since then, my pediatrician, or the doctor that I had growing up, always referred to me as Cambo the Rhino.
Oh, wow.
And so that has stuck. She's still my mom's doctor, and will be like, tell Cambo the Rhino that, I said hi. Now, don't get it twisted. I still had a heck of a day, 4 for 4 from the plate.
There you go.
All that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But the picture is something I will never forget. And then, for me, growing up in Louisville, I think it's funny because, my mom worked for the Parks Department, and so she was the one in charge of all the leagues, and so I always had to be on my best behavior.
Yeah.
And so I as competitive as I was, I had to really watch myself. There was times that
Good job, Blue.
Yeah, that's right. There was times that I would get angry with another player from another team and, kind of foul them hard or something. And, she's like, listen, I will sit you out the rest of the game. I'm like, gosh darn it, Mom. Why do you have to watch everything that I'm doing? But no, just plenty of memories, man. Just getting to play in youth leagues and having a blast. And those things stick with you forever. I think that's a cool thing for us to remember in our jobs is, always remembering the lasting impact that we can have on somebody.
For sure.
Through what we do. And so, well, cool. I appreciate the time that you guys spent with us today. This has been a blast. Just getting able to chop it up about sports and youth sports, for everybody out in the community. Sign up for our leagues.
Play BGPR.
That's right. Yeah, our website's super easy to remember as far as signing up for what we offer at playbgpr.bgky.org. Again, that's playbgpr.bgky.org. Just head to that website. We've got all of our registrations available for different episodes and plenty of opportunities for you guys to get plugged in. If there's something that we're not offering, that you're looking for, as you can tell by our conversation today, we are happy to talk with you about what we can do to try to bring whatever sport it is that you'd like to see in our community. Just give us a call. Always give us a call, 270-393-3549, and you'll be able to connect with any of our staff. So in addition to our website, we're also excited to announce that we've officially launched our own special social media channels for Bowling Green Parks and Recreation. You can give us a follow on Facebook at BGKY Parks and Recreation, and then on Instagram at BGKY Parks and Rec. So be sure to give us a follow on the new social channels. Lots of cool content that we're planning to roll out, in addition to program updates, announcements. We're excited to kind of give some behind the scenes looks at what our staff do, introduce you to all of our incredible staff at the Parks and Recreation Department, from our maintenance division to our cemetery division, our landscape division, adaptive recreation, our community centers, athletics, our admin team. We've got incredible people, our golf courses, all the people that we do, our incredible fitness division with the famous Frank LaManna and Derek Fair and Benita Dearbone. So lots of great highlights coming on our social channels. So be sure to give us a follow at BGKY Parks and Recreation on Facebook and BGKY Parks and Rec on Instagram. Pete, Jake, thank you guys for joining us. Any last parting words for the community?
Thank you, Cam, for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Come play with us in the park, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's right.
We'll see you at Coomer and we'll see you at Moxley for the next 2 months.
That's right. That's right. Well, this has been another fantastic episode of the Talk BGKY podcast, the official podcast for the City of Bowling Green. I'm Cameron, Recreation Division Manager for Bowling Green Parks and Rec. It's been a pleasure to be joined by Pete Samios and Jake Willis from our athletics department. So until next time, we'll see you at the park.